Solving by substitution number 2. In this problem, we have two equations, and we are to solve for x and y using the substitution method. Step 1. Isolate one variable. And that means to get one variable by itself. And in this case, I'm going to isolate the y of the top equation. Now, you can isolate any variable you want. However, you want to pick an equation and a variable that is the easiest to do so. So for this equation, I'm going to get y by itself, and I have to get rid of this plus 7. So I subtract 7 on both sides of the equal sign. That gets me y equals negative 6 minus 2x. Now once I get y by itself, step 2 is to substitute for the isolated variable. And this means to substitute the content of our isolated variable into the other equation. So the y of our bottom equation gets replaced with the isolated y, the contents of that isolated y. So our y becomes negative 6 minus 2x, which is from here, and the rest of the equation remains the same. Step 3, solve. Now that we have only one variable, and that is x, we simply solve for x. So 3, we distribute this in. 3 times negative 6 is negative 18. 3 times negative 2x, because minus is the same thing as negative. So that gets us negative 6x equals negative 11 plus x. Now we simplify. And what I did here was I add 6x on both sides to bring all the variables to one side. So plus 6x, cancel this out. Plus 6x gets us 7x. Then I bring the number over on the other side. So I have to get rid of this negative 11. So I add 11 and add 11. So negative 18 plus 11 is negative 7. And that gets us negative 7 equals 7x. Then I divide both sides by 7 to get x by itself. And negative 7 divided by 7 is negative 1. So x equals to negative 1. So now that we solve for x, we can solve for y. And to do so, we substitute x into any of the equation. And I'm going to choose this top equation because that is, I think, the simpler of the two. So for x right here, I'm going to substitute it with negative 1 because we just solved for x. So x is negative 1, and I'm going to substitute negative 1 into our variable. And then I simply solve for y. I'm going to simplify the equation. Negative 2 times negative 1. That gets us positive 2. Then I'm going to simplify 1 plus 2. That gets us 3. Then I'm going to get y by itself by subtracting 7. And 3 subtract 7 is negative 4. So y is negative 4. And x is negative 1. And this completes our problem.